Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering some of the top asked questions that I get all the time about selling on Etsy. There are so many moving pieces and parts to being an Etsy seller, and especially when you're first starting out, it can be really confusing, really intimidating, and there's so many things you feel like you have to figure out. So this video is all about answering some of those very commonly asked questions, things that are confusing for Etsy sellers as they're just starting. So I'm going to be doing this kind of like rapid fire style, giving you my answers to the questions I get asked every day. But before we dive in, I want to introduce myself. If you're new to my channel, I'm Kate. I'm so glad you're here. I'm a wife, mama, Etsy seller, and business coach, and I have this channel to help you start and scale your online business so that you can make a full-time income doing what you love. Okay, let's dive right in. So probably the top asked question I'm getting right now is about shop suspensions. It seems like there are so many people who are just starting an Etsy shop, and as soon as they open it, Etsy suspends their shop. This can be really jarring and really confusing for a new Etsy seller, but I just want to put your mind at ease that this is something that's happening to a lot of people, and it's nothing to stress or worry about. We've seen a little bit of a rise in Etsy doing this on a consistent basis because they are vetting new sellers. As Etsy grows and the number of sellers grows, there's also unfortunately a larger number of people trying to go against Etsy's policy and resell manufactured items instead of handmade or digital items that they have designed themselves. Because there are so many more people trying to do this on the platform, Etsy has upped their efforts in terms of doing their due diligence to vet new sellers and make sure that they are legitimate. So if this happens to you when you open your Etsy shop, don't worry. This usually resolves itself in a few days. Once Etsy determines that you are in fact a legitimate seller, they will lift the suspension and you can continue building your shop. Now, this doesn't happen to everyone, but if it does happen to you, I just wanted to put you at ease a little bit and let you know that it's fairly common and it's nothing to worry about. All right, question number 2 that I get asked all the time is, how many listings do I need to have to open my shop? Now, of course, when you sign up for your shop, Etsy requires you to go through the process of listing at least one thing, but that's kind of just something to get your shop up and running. It doesn't have to be a full listing, but people are asking, how many full real listings do I need to have before I launch my shop, open it to the public, and get going with my business? There are different opinions about this, but my personal opinion is that it's great to have one full established page, or at least what appears to be one full page of listings. So the minimum to me would be 12 to 15 listings. That'll give your first page of your shop a really full feel so that when the buyer lands on it, it doesn't appear like a brand new shop that only has 2 or 3 listings. You want it to appear somewhat established and full, but don't feel the pressure to have hundreds and hundreds of listings before you open your shop. That's totally overkill, and you definitely don't need that to get it going. I always value quality listings over quantity of listings. Now, there are people who say you need to be listing new things every day and renewing your listings every day, and I just have never done that, and I've had tons of success without ever feeling the pressure to constantly be creating new listings and renewing every day. Okay, question number 3 is, how do I find what's trending on Etsy? We talk a lot on this channel about offering products that are in demand and currently trending and popular so that you know your listings are just gonna fly off the shelves because everyone's wanting it, right? So then the question becomes, how do we find what's trending on Etsy? How do I actually know what to offer and what kind of trending styles? I have several websites and resources that I use for trend research that clue me in on what things are on the rise and what things are currently going out of style, so I can make sure I'm on top of what's coming in as a new trend. My favorite place to look for this is Etsy's Marketplace Insights reports. These are articles that Etsy comes out with every so often based on the season and the upcoming year to tell sellers what's currently on the rise as far as trends in different product niches. Of course, there's always the Etsy Trends and Trending Now pages. There's Pinterest Predicts, which of course is Pinterest. It's not Etsy, but there's a lot of overlap, and Pinterest Predicts is a great way to find predicted trends that maybe are not in full swing yet, but are likely to be on the rise and super popular very soon. Pinterest also has a website called Pinterest Trends, which is another great place to just look at what's been recently trending on Pinterest. And then another place I love to get trend insights is Creative Market. Creative Market has a Discover tab on their website that you can click to get the most current yearly trends. And they also have a weekly newsletter that they send out to everyone on their email list, keeping you up to date with what they're seeing in the graphic design side of things that's up and coming as far as styles and trends. I'd highly recommend that you sign up for that free newsletter. It comes to your inbox every week, and it's a great way to stay up to date. And then of course you can always do your own research on Etsy itself just by typing in a keyword phrase that's something that you're thinking about using for your product and looking at what listings are coming up on the first page of search results and looking for repeating trend elements like patterns, color schemes, styles, different things that you notice occurring over and over again in the best sellers for your niche. Okay, let's move on to question number 4, which is I want to sell digital products, but I'm not a designer, so where do I start? The good news is you don't have to be a professional designer. You really don't even have to have any kind of design experience to get into selling digital products on Etsy. There are so many resources and websites and tools and tutorials out there that make it totally possible to teach yourself. So this can be a self-taught thing. You can learn digital design and you can learn how to make graphic designs really easily with all these resources that are available to you. I don't have time in this video to cover everything that you possibly could use for this, but I'm going to let you in on one of my very favorite websites to use, especially for beginners, so that you're not having to start from scratch, which is placeit.net. Placeit has all kinds of amazing digital assets for your digital product business, everything from mock-ups to design templates to logo templates. They even have social media videos and gaming. So you can definitely search by these categories up here at the top for whatever you're looking to create to find the template that you want. But I want to show you how to use the search bar here. So let's say that we want a template for a digital design product that is something with flowers on it. So we might type in floral and search for the word floral to see what comes up. And then once all of the floral designs come up, we can further niche down and narrow down our search with these different categories here on the left. So let's say we're looking to make an art print. I can click on Art Print Maker, and that will take my floral search and narrow it down by art print templates. So now I can see these different templates that I can click on and customize to make it my own. So let's say I like this template right here and I just want to change the colors around and maybe add some text. Placeit will allow me to customize anything I want on here. So let's say that I want to just change these colors around. I can see the background color, the main graphic color, and the accent color. So I can change this to be exactly what I want it to be for my print. I can also come here if I want to change the main graphic where the florals are. It gives me different options for floral design, so I can play around with this until I'm happy with the graphic itself. And then we can see this rainbow in the back. I can also change that to a different design as well. Now, once I'm happy with the graphics and the colors, I can always add text or add additional graphics if I want. So let's just say I want to have a phrase on this art print. I can add whatever text I would like here. I can change the font to be whatever I like, and I can change the color of the text as well. Now let's say I don't want this black background or the highlight behind the text. I can turn that off and then move this to where I'd like it to be and resize it. Now, if I wanted to add in extra graphics, I could always click here and either upload from my device or add from Placeit's gallery, but I think I'm happy with this the way it is. So once you're happy with it, you can click to download it here, directly share it, or make a copy. All of your designs on Placeit come with a commercial license so that you can automatically have a license to use it for business purposes. You don't have to worry about buying or purchasing a separate commercial license. There is just so much that you can do on Placeit. And if you use my link below in the description to sign up, you'll get an automatic 15% off when you sign up for their unlimited subscription. So you can either do a monthly or an annual plan. If you pay monthly, that brings the total down to just $12.70 a month. But it gets even better if you choose the annual plan, because if you pay annually, it equals out to only $6.35 a month. So you get access to everything they have with that commercial license to make it your own, to use it for business purposes for your products, all for just $6.35 a month when you use the annual plan. I absolutely love Placeit and think it is a must-have for any beginner that is looking to start with digital products or even just looking for mock-ups or social media design templates. It's truly an amazing asset to have for any small business owner. I want to thank Placeit for sponsoring this portion of today's video, and I'm super excited for you to try it out. I think you're going to love it. Now, speaking of selling digital products on Etsy, I do have a free digital product starter guide. If you're just getting into the digital product graphic design side of things and you just need some basic information that's going to help you get started selling digital products on Etsy, I'm talking file types, resolution, different programs you can use for creating and editing, then this digital product starter guide is going to be a huge help to you. It's a totally free resource that you can download. I have the link in the description box below, so make sure to grab that after you watch this video. All right, let's move on to the next question, which is why am I getting views but no sales? So if you're getting views but no sales, this means that you're not having trouble getting discovered or found in the Etsy search, which is great. You've got that first part covered. It's super important to actually be found, but it doesn't do any good to be found and then not get the conversion, right? We want them to carry it all the way to complete that transaction and make the sale. So a couple of things you can look at if you're not making sales and your conversion rate is really low is looking at the listing itself. Some elements of your listing that are super important to look at and maybe reevaluate from time to time are your photos, your price point, shipping costs, your processing time, your description itself, your variation options, and reviews. So just quickly running through these, of course you have 10 photo slots that are available to you on every listing, and I always recommend that you use as many of those as possible to show your product from different angles and different styles of photos. So you don't want just one plain studio shot. You might want one plain studio shot, but in addition to that, you want to show lifestyle shots and stage shots. You want to show different scenarios where it might be used by a real person. You want to give some of those inspirational photos to help your buyer imagine it in their own life and evoke that emotion that's going to help them want to make the purchase. Now, as far as your price point goes, you want to make sure that you're somewhere in the middle between the highest and lowest when you compare to competing listings. Price goes a lot into what happens subconsciously when a shopper is making that buying decision, and usually shoppers don't want to buy the lowest price thing because they subconsciously assume that it's poor quality, but they also usually don't buy the highest price thing because it's probably out of their budget. So it's up to you to find that really great balance somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be right on the average, but you want to make sure it's somewhere in that sweet spot middle zone where it's low enough to compete with the other listings and be appealing to that buyer, but it's also a healthy enough price point to where you're making a good profit margin. My personal strategy is to price lower in the beginning to get some sales rolling and stacking on that listing, and then once it starts using those sales to rank higher in the search, you'll be organically found more, and at that point you can raise the price point so you're making more of a profit on every single sale. You can also look at your processing times. You want to make sure that you're offering as low of a turnaround time with processing and shipping as possible, and you also want to look at your shipping costs because buyers are not going to pay a huge amount in shipping costs when free shipping is kind of the standard these days. Now, I know that not everyone can offer free shipping on every single thing, which is totally okay, but you want to make sure that if you are charging for shipping, it's something that is doable for the shopper. And then of course your reviews play a lot into the buyer's process as well. So if you have any negative reviews on your shop, this may be hurting you when it comes time for that buyer to click purchase and complete the transaction. You want to do everything you can to encourage your shoppers to leave you 5-star reviews and start to build up that highly important social proof. If you do get a negative review at some point, it's important to reach out to the person that left that for you and see if you can find out why they weren't pleased with their purchase and work it out with them and provide them really great customer service to ensure that that buyer is pleased in the end, and you may even have a chance of turning that negative review into a positive one. Okay, question number 6 is one that I hear all the time, and that is, how do I niche down on just one thing? It's so easy because there is so much content that we're consuming online every single day to get super overwhelmed with all the different ideas and possibilities and to get into that place of analysis paralysis. You have so many choices that you're analyzing and working through that it can cause you to stall and not make any decision because it's just too much. So if you feel like you're in a place where you know you need to niche down and get a little more specific to focus on one thing, but you don't really know what to do, I encourage you to take a step back, even if it's a day or two, of just stopping consuming so much content online and let yourself take a break and breathe for a minute and really recenter and refocus yourself, and then consider these questions. First of all, what really lights you up? What are you passionate about? What do you enjoy creating? Because if this is going to be something that you're going to continue long term, you don't want to do something you don't enjoy because you're going to burn out really fast. Now, of course, that is with the caveat that it has to be within the realm of what is actually trending and popular and in demand on the Etsy platform. You can't just go on and create just whatever you love because you're passionate about it and expect it to fly off the shelves, right? It has to be a balance and a really happy marriage of both what's in demand on Etsy and what you enjoy creating. Next, consider what skills do you currently have, or would you be willing to learn or self-teach through tutorials and things like that would help you up-level your craft. Of course, you also need to consider your budget for startup costs. So what equipment or tools or materials might you need to start making your products, and choose a product category that works with what you have available when you're first starting. Question number 7 is, how do I break through in the Etsy search? So So this is a question of being found and not being buried on page like 500 in the search results, right? Our goal is to be found on those first 1 or 2 pages of the search results when a shopper types in our keyword phrase. So the question is, how do I break through that market saturation to actually be discovered? Now, this is a really in-depth and complex answer, but the simple answer, in my opinion, and the number one thing you need to focus on to get your listing seen is marketing. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you know how I talk about the Etsy algorithm works highly on sales volume. So very simply put, the more sales you have on one listing that have been coming in and stacking over time, the higher that listing will organically start to rank, and it becomes this cycle where you're seen more organically and every sale helps to boost it higher. So if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of sales, it is of utmost importance that you use marketing and promoting on external platforms to drive traffic to your shop, and you're not depending on that organic traffic yet. That'll come at a certain point, but in the beginning, you can't rely on the organic Etsy traffic from the Etsy algorithm. It's up to you to drive your own traffic to start stacking those sales on your listings to get them ranking. There are a lot of different ways you can advertise and promote and market, but my top 3 favorite, which I call my 3-step marketing roadmap, are social media marketing, email marketing, and influencer marketing. Now, I don't have time in this video to go through all of those in depth, but in short, you want to use one social media platform that you're really going to dig into to start creating an audience and brand awareness on that social media platform and pushing people from there over to your Etsy shop using incentives, freebies, giveaways, fun things like that to get them over to your shop. You're also going to start building your email list so that you can start to have a list of people that you can contact whenever you want without having to rely on something like a social media algorithm, right? You own your list, so it is a top priority for you to start building that and being able to contact them through a weekly newsletter. And this way you can send out deals and promotions and discounts and get the word out about what you're doing in your business. And then the third is influencer marketing, where you're going to be partnering and reaching out to micro influencers to be featured on their accounts in exchange for either paying them for the feature or offering them free product. So it's up to you to find who a good fit in terms of an influencer would be for your audience and negotiate a collaboration with them so that it's a win-win on both sides. All right, question number 8 is more of a statement than a question, but it's, I don't understand SEO. Who can relate to this? I think we all can, especially when we're first starting. What the heck is SEO? How does the Etsy algorithm actually work? So it can be a really complicated thing, but I want to totally simplify it for you in this video and let you know SEO, which is search engine optimization, is basically just finding the right keyword phrases to tag our listing with so that the Etsy algorithm, which is kind of just the process that Etsy goes through to determine which listings out of all of the Etsy listings should be shown to a shopper when they search for something. We're going to use those keyword phrases to tag our listings to be like a big sign in front of the algorithm saying, I'm a match, I'm a match. And then even further than just being a match, I'm really relevant and important and exactly what the shopper is looking for. If you can tell that to the Etsy algorithm, you will be found on the first and second page of search results and have a lot of organic sales coming in. So again, it goes a lot deeper than this, but very simplified. You're finding those keyword phrases. It all comes down to using the correct keyword phrases. So our goal with Etsy SEO is to be, number 1, matched with the shopper's query or just the phrase that they've typed in that they're looking for. And number 2, to be ranked higher than the other listings that we're competing with. So friends, I hope this was helpful for you. These are some of the top questions I get asked all the time, so I figured it might just be great to throw them out there. Hopefully one or more of these rung a bell with you and I was able to help clarify something for you. If you did find it valuable, would you give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel? We release new content every week for small business owners and entrepreneurs. Remember to click the link in the description box below if you want to try out Place It, and don't forget to download that free digital product starter guide that's going to help you get started in your digital product business. Now, I do have a full tutorial on Place It if you're interested in taking a deeper dive into how Place It works. I have a full-length dedicated video all about walking you through the features of Place It that I'll tee up, so you can just click or tap on the square on the screen right now to hop over and watch that video. And I'll talk to you soon.